Yay! So very welcome to being the voice of wealth to create a future that works for us. And I am super thrilled. We saw the signups for this particular call come in every day. Boom, boom, boom. Hundreds of people signing up for this one. And thank you all for being here. And I'm so thrilled that this topic is actually something that excites you, like being the voice of wealth to create a future that works for us. There's so many parts and pieces in that. And this whole thing got created some years ago when I asked that question. I asked myself the question. So actually, it wasn't just one question. It was kind of like a combination of translator is not muted. Thank you. That's not what I asked. So what I asked was, so what is it I truly would like to bring to the world? Because there's this thing that each and every one of us knows that nobody else knows and that you uniquely bring to the world. And it's so normal to you that you probably haven't even considered it or asked about it or acknowledged it at all. And so that's why we have these amazing tools and questions where you can discover things that are with you, that you be already, that you have never even considered. And so it really helps to not just go, oh yeah, I know I have capacities, kind of like dismiss it, but really ask, hey, what do I bring to the world, me uniquely, that nobody else brings to the world? And then I had this question, and when you ask a question, there's an energy coming up. That's why we ask these questions. We don't just ask them to be a good, conscious person and go, check, I asked a question, ta-da, like a to-do list. No, it's like when you ask these questions, you actually, you could, if you would like to, you could just, hold for a second or a couple of seconds and go and be present with the energy that comes up. Like, hey, what do I truly uniquely bring to the world that nobody else brings to the world? And then you just wait some seconds and go, oh. And rather than looking for an answer, you go, what is the energy of what I'm asking for? And that energy becomes your new navigation system to guide you to actualize and to create what you're asking for. Okay, so usually the navigation system we use is thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and a lot of conclusions. And to add to the beautiful buffet and salad of insanity, we also put in some judgments, and some other wonderful things, decisions. And then we have this salad of insanity that we call our reality. So everything that is truth, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Woo. So everywhere you've created a salad of insanity that you call your reality, will you please times a godzillion destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And so questions and all these tools, some of you might know many tools because you've done many classes. Some of you might have just started with Access or saw a video about it and just maybe have heard the POC tool or interesting point of view or just the idea of asking a question. It doesn't matter. If you really use any of these tools, they just work. They're extremely pragmatic. It means they work. So anytime you use a question and something doesn't really work the way you desire, it's like, it's basically like shit turns into gold. Like anything that's shitty in your life turns into gold when you ask a question. And that's true alchemy. So everything you haven't acknowledged about that, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So this whole being the voice of wealth to create a future that works for us, as I said before, it all started with a question of what do I uniquely bring to the world that I haven't considered and that I haven't acknowledged. And then I looked at, okay, so I already, do classes with Right Voice for You, with wealth creators, which used to be Right Witches, and with pragmatic psychology and being you. And so how, like, what's possible to, use all of these different life forms to create a different life form, a new life form. And that's how this got created. And that was some years ago. And I did some classes, and it was just so amazing to see how, the wealth part, wealth usually for people is money and money only. And when wealth is just money for you, it becomes very tiny, 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 tiny. And you think that all you can receive, when you ask for wealth is just, wait, I'm unstable. I'm unstable. Is it good again? Yeah? Okay. It's so funny when it's every time when there's this certain energy coming up, the Wi-Fi kind of like goes crazy. It's really interesting. So the wealth part. So if you think wealth, all wealth is money, you're really, really limiting your life extremely. So what if wealth is actually the ability and the luxury to receive everything? So have you ever noticed that maybe not you, maybe you heard about somebody that read about someone that, heard someone talk about someone who was fighting a lot. So what we usually do, or what most people do, not you guys, other people, is like fight a lot, like rather than receive, fight. And fighting is where you come to conclusion about everything that doesn't work, where you judge you, where you judge everything you create, where you judge your body, where you judge everything and come to conclusion about what doesn't work. That's very dramatic and not pragmatic. So the thing is, if you stop fighting and start receiving, like truly receiving, then the wealth you're asking for can actually show up. But it's this stupid habit that most of us have to keep on fighting. We ask for possibilities for, hey, what would it take for more money to show up? What would it take for, my body to change, or whatever area you ask about? And then how often do you fight to get it rather than receive it? So everywhere you fight to get it rather than asking to receive it, will you please times a godzillion destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and yawns. And it's just something we've learned and mimicked from other people in this reality. This constant, if you really want to have money, you have to work hard. If you want to achieve a great career and a business, it's going to be hard the first 2 years. Don't even bother. So all of these points of view from this reality are designed to keep you in fight mode rather than receiving mode. So this is something we could, if we desire, if we choose, we could change it. And, there are very many people signed up for this particular event. What's it called? Zoom thingy. And like a couple of hundred people. And what if we all today, and even if you're listening after this, what if we start to make different choices? And it's not just one choice. It's not just go, okay, I'm going to change this. Yes, that's one choice, but that's good for now. What if you choose that tomorrow as well? Because this reality is super seductive. What do I mean with this reality? Well, this reality is everything that is heavy, everything that keeps telling you what's right and wrong, what's good and bad. It keeps feeding you with judgments. And when you ask for something, it's not supposed to be easy. And judgments are very, very seductive. So, for instance, with pragmatic psychology, I was working with this guy who was diagnosed with schizophrenia for super many years. And so he came to a class, and wow, he came with his sister, adorable woman. Whew. And so, he kept sitting like this, trying to protect himself, because when you're super sensitive, it's sometimes like, whoa, feels like every single impulse feels like too much, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can handle this. So most people create a coping strategy to handle this by putting up a lot of barriers, or even changing their body movement to something like this, like contraction. And so he did that during the first part of the class. And so I worked with him over the 2 days of class. And the second day, he came to class and totally lit up and was like, wow. And we talked about gratitude at some point of the class. And he turned to his sister and said with clear words, thank you so much for being there for me. And then he turned to the whole class and he said, thank you, everybody, for not judging me and for being one of the only people who actually have my back. I've never experienced that before. Thank you so much. And he said, wow, I actually think I have no problems, from a guy that was diagnosed with schizophrenia. That's huge. And so his sister then told me that he's been so ease-filled for weeks after the class, and so much lightness. And then I think he met a doctor, because if you have schizophrenia, you often have like scheduled appointments just to get a checkup. And he met his doctor, and after the doctor's appointment, he got bad. Like, how do you say it? He got bad again. And she said, but it wasn't as bad as it was before. And he said, and both of them were totally clear that, the doctor, with their points of view and projections and judgments, he tried to not buy them, but he partly bought them as his and made the doctor's point of view valuable again, which created his condition and worsening. And she said, but it's still, there was this platform of knowing what he knows that was so strong than never before, which is absolutely incredible. Like, imagine if you've been called sick and insane for long time. I mean, most of us have. We don't have to be diagnosed to be judged as insane and crazy. Like, most of us creative beings are like seen as, and you know how that is, and then, but then starting to create this platform for you, that's, in a lack of better words, where, even though you're judged again and people like put the solidity on you, you're crazy, you're insane, you're too much, you're too this, you somehow have planted a seed in you where you know that you know, and where you trust yourself. That's wealth. That's wealth for me. And sorry, but I'm like, like, we keep calling money wealth, and that's just so little. When things like this are possible, when you actually can create a world for you where no matter what occurs around you, in people judging you, making you wrong, where you can more and more, for each and every day, for each and every moment of every day, go, you know what? No, I'm not going to buy your point of view again. Not anymore. And then you might fall back for some maybe days or weeks or months and go, oh, maybe they're right, I'm insane. But somehow it's not true. And then that seed keeps on growing. And you choose again, no, I'm not going to make that true. And then you might fall back again for this time maybe only weeks and days. And then you go, no, I'm not going to choose that again. And then maybe you fall back again, this time maybe just for a day or some hours. And you go, no, I'm not going to choose that again. I know what I know. I know what I be is valuable. So everything that is, and everything that allows you to know how valuable you are, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because there are these amazing access classes out there in the world, and amazing people who, sorry, who acknowledge you for who you are. And then, it's like really where we have to choose and trust that lightness is what's true and not heaviness. And I know we've been brainwashed to believe that heaviness and struggle is true and real. But, the more of us who choose this, the lighter and easier it becomes. And this is where each and every one of you is the leader of creating a future that works for us. Of course, the Wi-Fi goes whoop on this one. This is where each and every one of us becomes a leader of creating a future that works for us. Because what if we consider the bigger picture? We just had the amazing Global Foundation with Gary and Dane. It's where Gary and Dane, the founders of Access Consciousness, rewrite the foundation every year, or sometimes even twice a year, depending on what's required. And we talked about how most people create their lives from very tiny, which means from only how do I get my part, and not in a bad way, just, those things where we keep worrying about, oh, will there be enough money coming in this month? Will there be, enough of blah, 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 whatever it is, and this constant worry. And worry kills wealth. Everything that is, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. It's like, what if every time worry comes up, you just go, everything that is, I destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Or you say, wow, interesting point of view. I have this point of view that I'm worrying. Wow, pretty interesting point of view that I have this point of view. Yep, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And you say this as often as you require to where the worry just dissipates. Because it's like this constant worrying about lack and what's not there, which all of us tend to do, because, what else do we see in the world? It's like, it's not bad that we do it. It's just a not so great habit. It's just, something that shows up when you've been here in this amazing reality for years and on lifetimes, actually. And then, and it's actually where your life becomes about a tiny little bit, just it becomes very small. And we talked about this being somewhere where you choose self-interest, like self-interest is where you try to make sure that you get what you've decided you need to make sure you're moving forward. But you're actually not moving forward, you're actually moving backwards, or at least you're staying in the same position, because it's all about, will this work out? Oh my God, will I have enough people at my class? Oh my God, will there be enough money? La la la. And you think you have to worry and you have to make sure you get everything because you think you have to do this, because otherwise it won't work. So everything that is times a godzillion, will you please destroy and create it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And so I'm going to actually run the clearing that we did at Foundation about self-interest. So it's, what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared as the absolute necessity of self-interest, as the permanent incarceration of the artificial intelligence of this reality are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. You want to run it one more time? Yes. If you fall asleep on this one, or you're knocked over, or you pass out, it's not wrong. It's just that the clearing is running really a lot. So what jails are you using to create the dominance of equals mc squared as the absolute necessity of self-interest, as the permanent incarceration of the artificial intelligence of this reality are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Wow. And what if we choose to look a bit further than just our nose? You know what I mean? I think that's a German expression. Does that make sense in English? Looking beyond your nose? um, so it does in French. Thank you. Good. In Dutch too. Awesome. So it's really where you don't just look, will it work for me? But if you like looking bigger. And looking bigger is like where you go, especially on those days where you think nothing works, where you like, get people sign, like, how do you say, delete their registration, sign off from your classes, or yeah, okay, sign off from your classes, or your stepmother calls and say, oh, you such a terrible person, you're not good enough for my son, or whatever, and then this happens and that, and it just accumulates, and there's like a pile of shit in front of you. You go, seriously, what's going on? Especially on days like this where nothing seems to work. Cancel, thank you, Katusha. So where nothing works, especially then, you want to broaden your perspective and go, okay, if it wasn't about me, what would I choose? And what world would I like to create? And what can I be and do today to actualize that with total ease? Notice how that bigger perspective actually creates it takes you out of this self-interest and going, why is this happening? What's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? What do I have to do now? What else do I have to do? And what else do I have to do? All of this is self-interest, and it doesn't really work. It's where you try to come to conclusion. It's where you try to figure out how to, change things, and it doesn't really change. It just drives you crazy. So everything that is times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So on days like this where nothing works out, you want to expand out your world, and you can do this wonderful tool of sensing your body, like be aware of your body. And if you don't know that you have a body, then you just put your hands on your body and go, okay, hi body, okay, yummy. And then you expand out and ask to occupy lots and lots and lots and lots of space, like at least the room you're sitting in, and then maybe even the town you're in, the country you're in, the continent you're in, and maybe even beyond that, and down into the earth, and go, hey universe, what's truly possible? What world would I like to create? And what can I be and change today to contribute to that being actualized with total ease? So then everything just goes, whoa. And it's something we need to practice, because it seems like everything is going away. You're like, whoa, maybe I'm losing my focus. Maybe I'm not working hard enough. Maybe, because the contraction becomes space. And it's not that things are going away. It's that you're actually starting to receive what's truly possible for you, and receive the contribution from every single element of the universe. And again, that's wealth. That's where you start to be the voice of wealth, where you create a future that works for you. So let's run it again. And if you have questions, you can ask them. Just unmute yourself and ask, or put them in the chat on the right side. So what jails are you using to create the dominance of equals mc square as the absolute necessity of self-interest, as the permanent incarceration of the artificial intelligence? That was my daddy writing an SMS. He just got an iPhone and he's constantly writing text, and I don't know how to change this voice thingy. So again, so sorry. What jails are you using to create the dominance of equals mc square as the absolute necessity of self-interest, as the permanent incarceration of the artificial intelligence of this reality are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Wow. Whew. So this might be something you want to run. And if you don't remember the whole process, then you can just do an easy version of it and go, everyone I'm doing here, I destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what else is possible beyond it? And it's, again, where you stop fighting and start receiving. What if it can actually be easy? And again, what if like all the shit piles could be turned into gold with every question you ask? Like being the true alchemist you truly be. You know, what if all the shit in your life, all the limitations could be turned into gold and possibilities? And everything doesn't allow that. Everything doesn't allow you to be that alchemist. Will you destroy and create it times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yay. Wow. Whew. Thank you, guys. Me too, Anli. I'm looking forward to this too. So we're actually going to have a 2-day class out of this in Tallinn in some weeks. And you can also join online. So it's a 2-day class with only bars as prereqs, where we explore all of this. And it's a combination of right voice for you, pragmatic psychology, being you, and the wealth creators class. So it's like everything in one, all in one in 2 days, and Tallinn and Online. So I'm really looking forward to this. And also, what if you also, I know we keep talking about this, but not many people actually do this. 2 things. One is, just need to make a note before I forget. So what if you actually acknowledge the lightness and the ease you already are? Because, you know, and this is a clearing that Dane had long time, maybe not so long, but maybe some month ago. I keep running it. It's so brilliant. It's so what beyond this reality acknowledgement can you gift yourself? And everything doesn't allow that to show up times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And this is really amazing if you start doing this on a daily basis, like, because this reality keeps telling you what's not possible. It keeps talking about lack and how hard everything is supposed to be. If you want to get something, you want to have money or business, you have to, contract. And I'm kind of, people being contracted all the time. I'm like, people should have constipation all the time. I mean, that's awesome. So, but the ease you are, the ease beyond this reality is like, there's probably nobody who has ever acknowledged you for it. Maybe the only acknowledgement you have gotten is when somebody said to you, you're crazy. You're too happy. You're too loud. You're too colorful. You're too this and that. That's probably the only acknowledgement you've ever gotten for how beyond this reality you are. Because there's nothing you can, people don't get it. The only thing they see is like, you're weird, you're different. But that's an acknowledgement. Like anybody who's ever said to you, you're too much, you're too loud, you're too insane, you're too crazy, cut it out. What if that is actually the acknowledgement of the beyond this reality brilliance you are? Okay, so again, shit turn into gold. So what beyond this reality brilliance are you that you can now acknowledge? Ha! And everything that doesn't allow that time to go zillion, will you please destroy and create it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So one more time. So what beyond this reality brilliance are you that you can now acknowledge? And everything that does not allow that to show up times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And two more things. One is, please be aware of any time you come to a conclusion, you stop creation. Okay? Like, conclusions are creation killers. So are judgments. So anytime, so all the conclusions you've created only today that stopped your creations right away, will you please destroy and uncreate it times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So all the conclusions you have created that stop, all the conclusions you've created that stop your creations, will you please times a godzillion destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Let's do it one more time and just notice for you if something is shifting just by running this now a third time. So all the conclusions you have created to stop creation, will you please times a godzillion destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Isn't this awesome? Like, just running this a couple of times, there are already things shifting. And it's not something you can feel, because it's nothing that it's feelable. It's something that you just see if something gets dizzier or lighter or just different. Again, shivers, somebody writes. Cool. Yes, it's changing. And you want to acknowledge that. More space. Thank you. Yeah. So let's do it one more time. So all the conclusions you have created that are killing your creations, will you please times a godzillion destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Elena writes, getting hotter and hotter here in New Zealand. Awesome. So, and the other thing is, a good old friend of ours, which you've all probably heard if you've ever done an Access class or saw a video. Thank you, Vicky, for writing the questions. That's really awesome. Thank you. Here in Estonia, hot too. Awesome. So one of the clearings you've probably all heard that is a good old friend of ours that you should have with you in your toolbox every day is, are you ready? And don't run it ever. So what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be totally out of control, out of limitation, out of definition, out of form, structure, significance, linearity, and concentricities that you and your body truly be? And everything that does not allow that times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So basically, this is when you have your salad of insanity that we talked about before, where everything is solid and you constipate. This is where you go boom, and put super much chaos in it, just woo, turn it around, toss the salad around, blah, 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 blah. And suddenly you see that there's some gold coins in there and some whatever, amazing stuff in there that you haven't seen before, because it was all so solid in one pile. So when you do this out of control thing, you're actually turning things around, you're moving them, you're putting there's flow coming into it, and it starts to move again. And when things start to move, things move forward, and you see things and pearls of possibilities that you haven't seen before. Okay, so anytime you're stuck, this is an amazing clearing to run. And thank you, Vicky, for writing it again. So what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be totally out of control, out of limitations, out of definitions, out of form, structure, and significance that you and your body truly be? And everything does not allow that times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Woo! And bars, exactly. That's great too. Okay, so what if you actually could be the voice of wealth that creates a future that works for all of us? And I am really grateful for you. And yes, so thank you for being here with us and what else is possible. And go out and have way too much fun. And yay, wow. Mwah. And see you maybe in Tallinn and online. I'm super much looking forward to the 2 days of exploration of what else is possible. Bye, wonderful people. Thank you also. Yay!
You. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.